And I will tell you, these 5 simple words, they're going to immediately improve your leadership conversations. You ready for the 5 words? Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. Sounds pretty basic, right? But I don't want you to underestimate these 5 words. These 5 words can unlock honesty. They can deepen trust. They can turn surface level riffraff and surface level chatter into real meaningful dialogue. And let me explain why this phrase works so well and how you can start using it right away. Here's what I have come to find. Many leaders, under pressure, under tension, under all the things that leaders face, they rush to respond to something. Something happens, they're very reactive. They're rushing right in to say something. Oftentimes what we're doing is we diagnose before we really understand what's going on. We give advice before we even begin asking questions. And when we do that, what happens ultimately is we start shutting people down. They don't feel heard. They feel handled. They don't feel dealt with, if you will. And who wants to be dealt with? Nobody. What we all want, including you listening, is to be heard. But here's what great leaders do. They don't just respond. They don't just react. They don't just feel the tension or see what's going on and jump right in. They do something a little bit different. The greatest leaders, they stay curious. They slow the conversation down. These are all things that create what I like to call leadership composure. And when someone shares something, especially something emotional, maybe something vague, maybe something that's very tense, these great leaders, they just lean in a little bit with this little level of curiosity. And they say, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. You know, this phrase, as simple as it is, it does 3 very, very powerful things. It shows a genuine curiosity. You're not trying to fix, you move on and just fix something and just kind of throw it under the carpet. What you're doing by saying these words is you're inviting depth of conversation. You're curious. You want to know more. I'm not looking for surface level chatter here. I'm inviting depth into this conversation between me, the leader, and the teammate that I'm leading. What else this does for you as a leader is it buys you time to listen versus this always trying to be on as a leader, always trying to have all the right answers. Good luck with that. I have not found the formula to that just yet. So when you ask this question of, tell me more about that, this phrase, it allows you time to listen. And listening allows you to what? It allows you to process. And as you begin to process, it allows you to think. Now you can respond logically. You don't need to jump in with a solution right away. You just need to create a little bit of space. And building space is a great thing because what does this do? When I'm asking this question, it's also building trust because it says, I don't need to just tell you what to do. I want to learn from you. How did you get here? Why did you want to do it that way? Tell me more about that. When people feel safe to open up, they'll tell you what's really going on. Have you ever wanted as a leader that superpower of what are they really thinking? Like, you know, I forget the movie, but, you know, there's a movie, I think it's with Jim Carrey, where he can literally hear what people are saying. Like, wouldn't you want that superpower one time as a leader? Maybe not. That could literally blow up in your face if you really knew how people felt about you, right? But we will never acquire that power. But what we can do is ask the right questions to get below the surface and open up this dialogue, create a safe place, start to build this bridge of trust so that people feel like they can open up and tell you how they're really feeling. That doesn't always mean you're going to get a great response and it's going to be favorable, but it's better to know. This phrase is especially helpful when a team member starts to give you vague feedback. Have you ever gotten this? You feel like you're kind of dancing around the subject. They're not telling you all the information. It's a little bit vague. And instead of you just blowing up and saying, can you get to the point? Which is what you want to say. You say, tell me more about that. Now we're diving a little bit deeper. We're what they call peeling back the onion, right? Or maybe someone seems frustrated. You're reading the body language. You can see it. You can see the grimace. You can see the frown on the face, whatever it might be. They're showing you signs they're frustrated, but they're not telling you why. Tell me more about that. Maybe a direct report shrugs something off that clearly matters. They need to care more about it. That's your cue. These are cues that your team is giving you that it is time to use this phrase. And when you're seeing these cues, you pause and you simply say, tell me more about that. Think about all the scenarios that play out that this phrase could unlock new dimensions for you as a leader.